Hello, everybody. Thank you for listening to the Healthy Project podcast. I am your host, Corey Dion Lewis. Today, I have with me a great guest, no stranger to the Healthy Project podcast. Though it's been a minute since I've had you on, Melody. I have Coach Melody, President, Chief Wellness Strategist for Unwrap U, doing so much out here in the community and all over the country. So I'm so happy to have her on with us today. Coach Melody, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Well, I'm always excited to spread wellness around the world, Corey, and thank you for having me today. Important topics that we're talking about, and I'm happy to be here.
Yes, absolutely. So, before we get into kind of our discussion today, which is obviously a very, very important one, for those that aren't familiar with you on the platform, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and what gets you up in the morning? What gets you going?
You know what? What gets me up in the morning is me, my discipline and my consistency. Hey, I start with myself every single day, which is what I encourage leaders to do as we prioritize our mental and our physical well being. And just the fact, I was thinking about that earlier. I get to do all these projects that I love. If it's consulting, speaking, training, all around physical and mental well being, which is so important right now, is, people are struggling with a lot of
Right.
different things that are happening and just being able to provide building out programs, author, speaker, health contributor. It's just a phenomenal time in my life.
Wow, you out here doing it, and we can see it. And today I want to talk a little bit about something that I know you're familiar with a lot, and that is childhood obesity.
Hmm.
And Coach Melody, when I was doing just a little bit of research about the topic, I found some really interesting statistics about childhood obesity. One that I just kind of wanted to talk to you today because there are a lot, and I'll make sure I have this link to some of these stats in the description of this episode. But the one that kind of stood out to me was in 2022, 37 million children under the age of 5 years old were overweight.
Yeah,
37 million. Oh, under five.
right.
And when you hear those type of numbers, given the work that you do, what comes to mind?
Avoidable, preventable.
Mm,
Preventable is one of the biggest ones, especially for our young people. When I started out, thinking about my background in the pharmaceutical industry, selling the chronic comorbidities, and then I started thinking there is a better way because people can't do what they don't know. And now I
mhm.
actually get to teach people how. This year, we launched my team a youth journal, the curriculum, and the affirmation cards. The walk is a big part. I started that because of the mortality, the rates that we had in the community that I live in. It was just supposed to be a fun walk. Corey, do you know we have given away over $30,000 already in these short years? Because in the
Mm.
beginning, it was just walking just to move for mobility. And as you ask, what with our young people, it's not surprising to me. It's sad, and I want people to really take notice of it. It's important that we start with some preventative care techniques for them, period.
Right. So one that is, when it comes to your walk, I know that we've spoke about that at length. That's amazing being able to provide, you know, $30,000 over the course of the time doing it. That is great. And you also said, making sure prevention is at the forefront. When you think about our youth, in this, the issues they're having when it comes to overweight or obesity, what does that look like?
You know, it looks it really is disturbing because I feel like with physical activity, which is a lot around September is Childhood Obesity Month, first of all. So you think about what can we do to help our kids? We can feed them better foods. We can prepare their foods. Nutrition is such a big part and proponent. I'm a proponent of, hey, let's get in the kitchen. Let's cook together. Let's have some, show them what healthy looks like. Fruits and vegetables, whole foods. And also getting out there and having some physical activity. That's what I love about the Fam Fun 3K. This is our 8th year and it's around the world now. We have a walk happening in Alabama. We on the last week we also have Atlanta, St. Louis. So people are moving all over. We had 35 states and 3 continents. This year, we're going to have 4 continents, and I'm not sure how many states for 2024. But we know that we have to move, getting them off the TVs, off of social media. I talk a lot around social media and cell phone toxicity. We're filling the heads with things that, I would like to see our young people feel with more positivity, and things that are not making them feel emotionally down. Because as I build out wellness circles and working with the youth wellness journal and curriculum that I built out, they're telling it's so much that they go through.
Oh my God. I think about, my kids and what I had to deal with at their age. And though every age and every generation has their own concerns,
Correct.
I never, ever had to deal with a computer in my pocket
Right.
and to deal with, if I had an issue with somebody, I had an issue with them face
Yeah.
to face. I had to deal with them face to face and on social media and all over any insert social media platform. There's just a lot, and to deal with um the how you how you feel about yourself and how you
It
look,
does.
because what you're seeing on these platforms
Yeah.
is just another wrinkle in that.
And can I say this? What about the kids with the cell phones up under their bed, up under their pillow?
Yeah.
They bump and then they have them on vibrate. So every time they vibrate, they move. That's a real problem. Like,
Hmm.
having boundaries is so important. Even I think about time management as I teach adults, but time management for our kids too. You only have so much allotted time for that. It needs to be put away. There needs to be structure, dinner time, bedtimes. Like, what are we feeding into them? And exactly, they're comparing themselves to what they're seeing on social media, which is not real. We know that social media presents the best of ourselves no matter what, who's putting up the
Right.
worst of themselves on any of their social media sites.
Right.
And there's nothing wrong with that, but you have to have it in context. And that is what really, what I think about with our young people, getting back to those values that really mattered, and that we're going to help to uplift them rather than bring them down.
No, that's so real, and it's all holistic. It all comes together. I want to touch on the nutrition piece for a little bit, Coach Melody, because though I agree, that we gotta start cooking with our babies at home. We gotta start incorporating healthier foods. For some people in our communities, that's maybe easier said than done.
Yeah.
And a lot of these kids, especially some of the kids I used to work with, they're getting their breakfast and their lunch
Yeah.
at school.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you know anything about these school breakfasts. It's
Yeah.
a donut and juice or milk,
Yeah.
or maybe it's different, but some of the kids that I talk to, what do you have them for breakfast? They have an option of fruit, a donut, chocolate milk. And if you talk to any kid, first to third grade, they're going to pick a donut
Yeah.
if that's the option.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, and let's go back to that, Corey. True. And I see it when I'm in the store. You look up, they have chips, donuts, a soda, and I'm thinking, you wonder why kids are bumping off the wall and ADHD
Hmm.
inflicted and those sort of things. Too much sugar. It is that's fundamentally a problem. And I feel like what you're saying, I see it too. With I know I can't tell people what to do, but if you can, the best thing is to pack lunches and be able to have kids to take what you want them to eat. But I guess fundamentally, we got to get back to our school lunch program. And I know there was a big part of that. And I know the processed foods is there. And think, you got breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They might be running through a drive through. And
Yep.
even, I don't care where you go, even to the finest places to eat, it's a lot of additives. Additives have the biggest impact. And when I say additives, all of the milk products, all of the, and it's all heavy cream and oils and things to help color. Why? Because it makes it more appealing to others. And of course, all the fried foods we get. If you are like me and trying to make some healthy choices, sometimes it can get difficult. So you got to plan
Right.
ahead, pack and go, take you your own snacks. I mean, it's a real thing.
Yeah. I think the again, easier said than done,
Mhm.
given depending on who you are, is being able to do more of that at home. But I wanted to touch on something as kind of in that same line, are those families that maybe are on food assistance or don't have
Yeah,
what is necessary. If they're going to the grocery store, they're going to get the ramen before they get whatever. um and and to them that feels like out of necessity, like they have no
yeah,
choice but to do that. But also we understand, Coach Melody, is that a lot of these healthy behaviors start when we're young.
they do.
So how do you balance that? How do you balance, wanting to feed your family and with little means, but knowing that, hey, you got to make sure that they're growing up understanding that there's a healthier way of eating for longevity in life.
That is a great question and a hard one because if you're not walking in someone's shoes, you can't
You
really
ca-
tell
that's
them,
very
right?
true.
I will tell you what you just mentioned is one of the most unhealthiest things ever. Reading labels are so it's just like a
Hmm.
fundamental thing. Everything that I put in my mouth, I try to read a label or even research the food before I go to a restaurant or whatever. You got to try to make the best choices. And I don't know how to answer that for people, but I will say there's a lot of other foods that are healthy that you can kind of look into, buy it in bulk, and still be able to feed your family well, especially when you have some of the assistance that they provide, being able to go get fresh produce and fruit and vegetables, period. Of course, lean meats and making sure you're baking, trying to move away the oils and the saturated fats. All of that is part of the contribution to the chronic, diabetes and blood pressure, cholesterol issues that so many people have. When I go into schools, it's normal for them to know many people in their family that are have one of the what I just mentioned, and it's
Right.
a real problem in the communities. But we have to address it and start talking about it. And if you're talking about that many millions of children obese before 5,
Yeah.
we got to make some changes, and that's what I'm here for. i
Yeah.
i have really become an advocate in this space. Is one of my biggest goals is to that's why I'm on the radio and TV and talking about it. Everybody can find me on Coach Melody on like Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, because we need to start putting together programming that's going to combat this. Because a surgeon general also, and I don't know if you saw this, he talks about how they're going to have be the most mentally challenged group of kids coming up right now. If we don't get a hold of it, it's going to get worse.
I haven't seen that yet. I'm definitely going to look that up, but I 100% I can see it.
Yeah,
It's hard to say anything else,
yeah.
against that with what we're seeing. Um, but what I appreciate about some what you do, Coach Melody, and kind of emphasizing the walking and the physical activity, because
Mhm.
like you said, I can't be in someone's house. I can't be in someone's shoes. I'm not going to be in somebody's pocket either. If you ain't got it, you say you ain't got it, you ain't got it. I'm not going to do all that. But what we can do, which is we can be physically active,
Yeah.
and we can get out there. And that's one thing that I used to, or I still do, encourage a lot of the young kids that I see to be physically active and to be out there. Um, what are you seeing with this generation when it comes to physical activity compared to maybe generations before?
Yeah, just what, and I can just judge it by what I see when I'm out or if I'm at a community event or a school or whatever. They just playtime period, just the normal things: hula hoop, double dutch, jump roping, running, just
Hmm.
moving. And even when you're moving that much, but you're having so many processed foods and carbohydrates, you still have to burn those. They have to burn through your system. Kids aren't walking to school as much as they're getting rides on the bus, or they're not biking. So some of the normalcy things that we used to do, uh, I know that we have the fullness of cars and transportation, those modes, but we still have to get out. And if you do it as a family, it's just a better thing. So it's park time. It's let's get out there, get you on a team, some sort of recreation in the evening, even if the school doesn't provide it. And then getting them to just move more, period. Get off your phone, get off your technology, go outside, get with your friends. That socialization helps with your
Mm,
mental clarity too, because what people don't understand, your mental is attached to your physical. When you're up and moving and doing the things that bring you joy, then that helps to trigger those endorphins in your brain. Like, okay, it's time for me to move. I'm going to go talk to my friends. I'm laughing. I'm having a good time. You're running. You're sweating. Think about it, you can go skating. There are so many activities that you can do, as far as the
right.
physical activity part, which is important.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
And even a lot of that just play. I don't think people realize when you say playing outside, that's exercise.
it's
Like
exercise. Mm-hmm.
go out and play. Like
Yep.
just move your body and it's free. You don't got to pay for it. You can go do that. And I'm just speaking for myself as a parent. When you say go out as a family, um, I just know like oh when I'm like oh I know I should. I know I should.
He said he know he should.
But
That is hilarious.
it was easier when life wasn't as busy, but it gets hard. But it's one of those things where you have to prioritize if you want your family to live a
Yeah.
healthy lifestyle.
And guess what? The bottom line, everybody listening to us, we all have the same 1,440 minutes in a day. You don't have to take
Mhm.
all day. It could be 15 minutes, it could be 20 minutes, whatever time you have. But making it a part of your discipline is what matters. Okay. And then your kids even begin to look forward to it. If you just walk up the street or go, get a playground and a play area in your around your house, a bike. You can walk and bike right in your neighborhood. Not every neighborhood, of course, but those are some of the parts that you can try to normalize and make a part of your daily habit, and it's not as difficult. And we have to make time. We eat, you have dinner time. Maybe if we get off of social media, or put
Yep.
away some of the electronics, the computer, or don't take your work home for hours after work. You know what I mean?
That's
Like
real.
some of the
Yep.
things we have to begin to prioritize our time, and that comes from a time management standpoint as well.
Yes, yes. So, tell me more about your walk. I know this you've done this for a few years now. You mentioned that it's grown drastically over the couple years. I'm sure you're so proud of that and it's so exciting. Tell us a little bit more about that.
It's very exciting. Like I said, it started just walking. I don't even remember how many people we had the first year, but we have people walking in different states and continents. We have on September 14th. I want everybody, if you're listening, walk. Use the hashtag on Facebook. I have a hashtag FamFun3K. They can walk with us and be a part of it. The goal is to just have everyone moving. We have resources, we have vendors, music, games, fun. I This year I was able to go into churches and speak. I was able to go into youth driven
Mm,
organizations and speak about chronic comorbidities, health disparities, wellness overall, mental and physical. And we are going to have the biggest walk ever. I think we're up to over what 700 people. That is a growth for us, and the thing about it is just trying to get people to collaborate. I'm a really big around partnerships, and that's the
right.
only way to do it is to spread wellness by using other people as well. So we have the cheerleaders come out, people dancing, we have youth groups. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, so September 14th, 8th
Yes, the eighth. Yeah,
annual
not a
Fan Fun.
few. The eighth annual. It's awesome. And then if anyone wants to go to see it, you can look on social media. The hashtag is FamFun3K. Coach Melody on Facebook. So of course, what people don't understand about the FamFun3K, if you want to participate, use the hashtag in your post. It allows me to be able to capture it and see it. And I tell people, shout out your state. Hey, I'm in California, I'm in Iowa, I'm in Philly, wherever you are, Texas. That way we'll know who you're representing as well.
Perfect. Well,
Yeah.
Coach Melody, thank you so much for the time today. I really appreciated it. For anybody listening, and I'll make sure I have all this in the description of this episode.
Okay.
But if there's anywhere specifically that somebody can reach out to you and learn more about you, maybe learn more about your services, where can they find you?
Yes, it's easy. Go to LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram. It's Coach Melody. And unwrapu.com, unwrapyou.com is my website. You can link all of my social medias through there as well. And again, I do workplace wellness, youth wellness, and life skills, speak, train. It's just a pleasure to be able to be on your show today. I appreciate it and all the good work that you're doing also with the Healthy Project and everything you have going on. So thanks for having me.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And everybody, thank you for listening to the Healthy Project podcast. I'll let you next time.